All right, shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all honor and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Rakha, HaKodash, Shalom Yom. Double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone who teach them about his last days and who are the true religious of Israel, whether you conceive it or not. I want to give a strong shalom to all the Akim on the four corners of the earth, puts his word of truth and sincerity, making the call and intellectual sure, making the bodies of sacrifice, as well as a large multitude of men, women, and children, for the Lord will have mercy on these last days, better known as the righteous one-third. All right, come back to the faith and obedience of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And I also want to give a humble citation to the elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, no matter what your outside appearance may be. All right, this is Brother Mashal. Come back at you with another episode of Sunday Sermons through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai, representing the Cleveland branch of Great Millstone. I want to say Tawadi Yahweh Bashim Shai for giving me the spirit and having the mercy for allowing me to continue the series. And, just back out here in the elements again today. I really didn't have a set, lesson like I usually do. So I'm just let the kind of start off a little bit somewhere and let the spirit see where the spirit takes me. So with everything going down with with Biden, going and going to Taiwan. Taiwan is a big producer of these potato chips. All right. So what is Esau gonna do? He's gonna try to stay ahead of the game. All right, because he knows what his end game is. All right, he has nothing else to look forward to but this new world order. All right, and his new world order comprises of certain things. Okay, certain things like worshiping the image of the beast. Okay, his charagma. All right, his potato chip. All those things are signs that his empire is coming to an end. Okay, his infrastructure ain't what it used to be, right? His economy isn't what it used to be. Okay, things are shutting down. All right, let me get this real quick in Isaiah 24. Let's see. Isaiah 24. And verse 9, it says, "They shall not drink wine with a song; strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it." All right. So what is these songs? These songs of joy. Okay. The songs of joy is what Babylon the Great has been founded off of, man. Okay. They call this the great land that everybody wants to be a part of. All right. But when people actually get here, they start to understand that this ain't all what it's hyped up to be, man. It's a whole bunch of folly in this place. Okay, and this is why the Lord has to take this out. All right, because this place rules the whole world. Verse 10, Isaiah 24:10 says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. All right, and this is the city of confusion. Okay, Babylon. When you break down the word Babylon, Babal means confusion. All right, now when you go to the history of ancient Babylon and the Tower of Babel, Genesis, let's see, 6. No, Slakia, 11, Slakia. I believe it's 11. Yeah, Genesis 11. I'm just gonna jump around a little bit. Genesis 11 and verse 1. It says, "And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech." All right, so this is what happens with where everybody was speaking the same language, which was the Hebrew. All right, now when you do the history, all right, you start to understand uh, the Hebrew language is the former of all these other languages. Okay, so this is why you have it where a lot of the characters of the Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, are in these different languages, right? Writing from from right to left. Okay, English is a cursed language. All right, you read from left to right. Words mean different meanings. Okay, you have different words that sound the same but mean different things. Okay, silent letters and stuff like that. This is a cursed language, man. Okay, and this is why the scriptures say that in that day shall the Lord return to us a pure language. Okay, the language of Canaan. All right, and that's the Hebrew. That's the Hebrew language. Let's see. Genesis 11 and verse 5. Just jumping around. It says, "And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded." Okay, because these people were trying to build a tower up to heaven. Okay, because that's because people have a God complex, man. All right, people have a God complex. Okay, and this is where Esau, this is the spirit of Esau. Okay, so Esau has a God complex. All right, so this is what he does right now. Okay, this is his Babel, his melting pot. All people are one. All right, and the Lord designed it not to be that way. Okay, because when you read Deuteronomy, um, when it talks about that when the Lord separated the nations, when He divided the children their inheritance, He separated the nations. All right, verse Genesis 11 and verse 6, it says, "And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and therefore confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." Okay, and this is what's going to happen when YAHAWASHI makes his return. Okay, he's gonna break up the Tower of Babel again, man. Right? He's gonna set things right. Verse 8, it says, "So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city." It says, "Therefore the name of it is called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth." All right, see, Babel, confusion. All right, so the Lord confused. Uh, yeah, the Lord confused and confounded the people, man. All right, because it was nothing but confusion, and this is the same thing that's happening in Babylon the Great right now, the modern day Babel. It's nothing but confusion, man. All right, there's no order in this place. Let's go back to Isaiah 24. Isaiah 24 and verse 11. It says, "There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone." You see, there's no more mirth, man. There's no more celebration, right? There's no more happiness. Why? Because there's no. The scriptures talk about that there shall be no work for Egypt. All right, people can't survive off of $12 anymore. Why? Because of inflation. All right, now $12 used to be a nice little paying job. All right, that was 10, 15 years ago. All right, but now what you can you have to make a certain amount of money in order for you to be able to continue in this society, man. All right, Esau has you living paycheck to paycheck. All right, let's just talk about putting your money in a bag with holes. Let me get that real quick. Let's go to Haggai. Haggai 1 and verse 6, it says, "Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes." You see, so this system is designed in order for us to fail, man. Okay, in order for us to be subservient. Okay, when we look at how this place is ran, what is it? You pay taxes, right, on somebody else's behalf. Okay, you're paying off a debt from the federal government that they incurred by taking from the international banking families, man. Okay, the Oppenheimers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts. All right, all these banking families. What do? They funded the the infrastructure of America, man. Okay, they funded the technological advances. All right, so America is in heavy debt, man. You can read about that thick clay in the book of Daniel, right? I believe it's the 7th chapter. Let me get that real quick. No, it's like Daniel 2. Daniel 2 and verse. Let's see. Where do I want to start at? I'm gonna start at verse 40. Daniel 2 and verse 40. It says, "And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all things, it shall break into pieces and bruise." Okay, and this is talking about the Roman Empire. Okay, because the Romans were were uh, were technologically advanced. Okay, so they had iron weapons. They used iron in their armor and things like that, and that's how they were able to be a powerhouse military wise. All right. It says, verse 41, "And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron. All right. And the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay." Okay. And that iron is that Roman Empire, man, the Roman system. Okay. Mixed with that clay. And what is that clay? That clay represents heavy debt. When you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, Revelation 13, and I'm going to get to the point. Verse 3, it says, "And I saw one of his heads as they were wounded to death." Okay, and this is talking about the beast, right? This beast that had 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, the 7 heads represents NATO, which is the military portion of the beast. Okay, and the 10 horns represents the European Union, the economic portion of the beast. Okay, and this one head that was wounded to death was the Roman Empire. All right. Revelation 13 and verse 3. "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast." And how was that deadly wound healed? By the Lord allowing Esau, the Romans, right, to come back into power. Okay, and we're in the modern Roman Empire right now, man. Okay, you can see the way that the government is ran. All right, with the House of Representatives, the Senate, okay, voting, okay, the two Democrat and Republicans, okay. When you go back to the history, that's the patricians and the plebeians, okay. Those were the two parties back uh, in the Roman times, okay. Those, when you keep going into Revelation 13 and 11, it says, "And I beheld another beast come up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon." Okay, and that's what those 2 horns represent. Okay, the both political parties. All right, but going back, Revelation 13 and verse 3, it says, "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." Okay, and that's the Roman Empire, man. Okay, we're in the Roman Empire right now. So when we go back to Daniel, and it says that Daniel 2:41, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. Okay, and this is the kingdom that's divided right now, man. Okay, this is why you have people, leaving the European Union. Okay, defecting and making alliances with other countries. Okay, making alliances with Russia and China and things like that. All right, so this is why. And when you read Isaiah 19, real quick, Isaiah 19:2, it says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom." You see, so the Egyptians are going to be fighting against the Egyptians. Okay, meaning Edomites against Edomites. All right, so even though we see, Americans, Russians, Ukrainians, all of these are Egyptians, man. Okay, all of these are modern day Egyptians. Why? Because they are oppressors. All right, there's no such thing as a Russian. There's no such thing as an American. They're all Edomites. Okay, but Esau has put something called a covering cast over the people. Okay, so he won't allow the average person to understand that everybody has a biblical nationality. Okay, this is why people, Apostle Gabar call them the wacky tacky Christians. But it's the reason why they believe that that the nation of Esau is done away with, man. The nation of Edom is done away with. Okay, that's that covering cast, not knowing that the so-called white man is a biblical uh, nationality of the Edomite. All right, or the other way around. The Edomites are the biblical nationality of the so-called white man. Okay, and just to make it clear, every so-called white man is not an Edomite, and every uh, brown-skinned person is not an Israelite. All right, Yahawashi talked about the wheat and the tares. All right, so going back, Daniel 2 and verse 42, and it says, "And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken." Okay, because that clay is when you put water on clay, what does it do? It starts to dissipate. It starts to fall off. All right. When it's hard, when you're not putting when you leave clay alone, it'll harden. That's how you make vases and things like that. All right. But when you put water on a vase, it starts to deteriorate. Okay. So this is why that the feet were part iron and part clay. Okay. When you look up that word thick clay in the blue letter, it talks about heavy debt. Okay, America is in heavy debt, but what is that part iron? He still has what the world subdued. Okay, by what? By his vast military, just like the ancient Romans had. All right. Um, Verse 43, it says, "And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with the clay," because that's what the scriptures talk about. Habakkuk. Let me get that real quick. Salakia. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." Okay, Esau's soul, which is lifted up. Why? Because it's full of pride. It's not upright in him. Okay, he's not designed to rule in righteousness. Okay, this man was designed uh, to uh, to bring forth iniquity, man, to bring forth sin. All right, so this way the elect will be able to uh, fight that. Okay, stand out of that. Loving not the world. Okay, and this had to come to fulfill biblical prophecy. That Esau is the beginning of, is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. It says verse 5, Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine." All right. Now you know when you read Revelation 17, let me hold this real quick. Revelation 17 and verse 2. I'm gonna start at verse 1 to get the context. All right, it says, "And there came one of seven angels who had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." And that great whore is America. Okay, America is riding on that beast. Okay, America is the great whore. It says, verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth, okay, which is the leaders of these other nations, all right, have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. All right, made drunk with the wine of her fornication, with different philosophies. Why? Because he transgresseth by wine. He invades and he forces his philosophies and his beliefs onto different countries, man. All right, 9/11 was a smokescreen for you ignorant uh, uh, Americans that believe that America is some great country that's protecting the interests of the people, man. All right, you fools, were swayed from that, man. You look at it, what happened, with 9/11, everything was burnt to a crisp, so to say. But how did seven Ishmaelite IDs still survive jet fuel on fire, right? How did the plane crash into the Pentagon, and it's a big ass hole in the Pentagon, but where's the plane that ran into the Pentagon? You see, the American people are simple, man. All right, and they believe it every word. The scriptures talk about, woe unto him that the simple believeth every word. Okay, America and American people are simple, man. All right, they've been drunk. They've been drunk off the wine and the philosophy of America, man. All right, yeah. So that's how in Habakkuk they were you know they transgressed by wine because he forced their philosophies on different people, man, on different nations. Okay, so when you had a dictatorship, American invades. Now what? Now they have an election, democracy. But what happens behind the scenes? You voting for the two sides of the same coin, and who's flipping that coin? You don't see the person who's flipping that coin. All right, Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. You see, spreads. The scriptures talk about. Let me get that real quick. In Psalms 37 and 35, it says, "I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree." You see, he spreads himself, man. He spreads himself like a damn cancer in the earth, man. That reminds me of the Matrix, right? When Mr. Anderson was talking to Neo, no, to Morpheus. When he in the first Matrix, when he had him in that chair, and he was talking about that people are like viruses, man. All right, Esau is a damn cancer, a virus, man. Okay, and YAHAWASHI being that physician, okay, is gonna heal. Okay, heal us by taking him out. Okay, this is why the scriptures talk about in Revelation 19 that with righteousness doeth he judge and make war. Let me get that real quick, and then we'll come back. Revelation 19 in verse 11, it says, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse." All right, and that's a chariot, man. Okay, the color white representing the purity, and the horse representing power. It says, "And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true." Okay, YAHAWASHI, and in righteousness do if he do of judge and make war. All right, in righteousness do if he judge and make war. You see, so he's gonna take away the iniquity. Why? Because he's gonna judge his place in righteousness. All right, going back to Habakkuk 2 and verse 5, it says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." You see, this is what he does, man. He takes over countries, right? He subdues nations. So this is how, when you go back to Daniel 2:43, where it says that they shall mingle themselves with the seed of man, but they shall not cleave one to another. Because why? Because he takes over these nations. Okay, he makes it impossible for nations to come up. All right, Salakia.
Can I get my tablet at the club?
Go ahead. All right, continuing on. Let's see. Verse 44, it says, "In the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed." And that's the kingdom of Yasharallah, man. With YAHAWASHI spearheading it. It says, "And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever." All right, our kingdom will last forever, man. Okay, forever and ever, even forever and ever. Okay, so this is why the Lord allowed these nations to rule for a certain time. All right, because the Most High is a fair power, man. These nations can rule for a couple hundred years, 500 years. All right, but the Israelites are gonna rule forever, man. All right. It says, verse 45, "For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof." And that stone is YAHAWASHI. Okay, and that stone is aiming straight for the feet, okay, of this beast. Okay, beginning with it makes up the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. Okay, and the Romans, okay, with the feet part iron and part clay, representing the modern Romans, man. Okay, the Americans. All right. So this is what's coming to Babylon the Great, man. All right, and this is why when you go to Revelation 12 and verse 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time." You see, that's going to be the hour of temptation, man, because Esau knows. All right, Salakia. Hopefully, I'm good now. What's wrong? Watch out. Don't don't do that. Go ahead, man. All right, so the devil is coming down with great wrath because he knows that he had but a short time. All right, so that's that. When we go to Daniel, back to Daniel 12 and verse 1, it says, "And at the time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book." Okay, and what's that? That's the hour of temptation. That's Jacob's trouble. Okay, and with Jacob's trouble is what? Heavy persecution, right? The charagma, the potato chip. All right, all these things are gonna try our faith, man. All right, let's go to Jeremiah real quick. Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. It says, "Alas, that day is great, that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." You see, that's that great time that no man has ever seen, man. Okay, there's not been one time in history where one nation of people has had control over the entire world, man. Or you had ancient empires that controlled certain regions, right? But Esau has control of the whole world. All right, why? Because he has eyes in the sky. He has military bases in multiple areas. All right, so this is how he's able to have the upper hand. Okay, these nations have to get permission from Esau to do certain things, man. All right, they all got to go to Daddy Esau, man, because the scriptures talk about that Esau had ruled the nations in anger. All right, but Esau is going to get hewn down, man. All right, you know what? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 10 and verse 4. It says, "The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord." Right. So this is how he's able to give the Esau the control of the world, man, because it's all in the hands of YAHAWASHI. Okay, all this is just to fulfill prophecy. It says, "And in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable." All right, and that one is YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI is gonna bring order to this world, man. Okay, establish a righteousness in the midst of wickedness. All right, because when you go to Second Esdras, chapter 4, Second Esdras 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 26. It says, "Then answered he me and said, The more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hasteth fast to pass away." You see, what is that world talking about? It's not, because the scripture says in Ecclesiastes, real quick, Ecclesiastes 1 and 4, it says, "One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever." So what earth is that talking about? What world is that talking about? All right, that's a power structure. Okay, that's hastened to pass away. Okay, it says Verse 27, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. You see, this world is full of BS, man. Okay, full of ways for you to go off, full of ways to make Esau go back, through a sorcery and show the Lord, look what your people are doing, man. They're eating pork, right? They're committing adultery. You see, but that's why the scriptures say that the accuser of our brethren are cast down, man. Okay, and that accuser is Esau. All right, when you go into the word devil, right, it means an accuser or slanderer. All right, 2 Corinthians 4:28, it says, "But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come." You see, her sins have reached under heaven. Let me get that real quick. Um, Slovakia, Revelation 18 and verse 5. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities." You see, so Esau's sins have reached unto heaven. Okay, so the wickedness has already been sown, man. Okay, Esau's fall has already taken place in the Shemayim, man. But it has to it has to physically manifest here on earth. It says, 2 Corinthians 4:28, "But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down with the wickedness, all right, and the place where the evil is sown pass not away, Esau Edom, then cannot it come that is sown with good, the kingdom of heaven." All right. It says, "For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning." Okay, through who? Through the serpent. Okay, and that serpent in Genesis has turned into a great dragon in Revelation, man. It has grown. All right. Verse 30, it says, "For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness hath it brought up unto this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come?" All right, that's just a rhetorical question, man. Slakia. That's just a rhetorical question, right? How much ungodliness hath it brought up until this time? It's bringing hell ungodliness. Why? Because Esau's structure is clean contrary to YAHAWASHI, man. This is why he has to be removed. All right. It says, verse 31. It says, "Ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed have brought forth." All right. So see, that's that grain of evil seed, man. That's been brought forth. All right, and Yahawashi is coming to judge and to subdue the nations, right? Because the scriptures talk about that on his head there were many crowns. Revelation 19 and verse 12, it says, "His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself." Okay, so on his head were many crowns. That's just a dark saying for Yahawashi subduing these nations, man. Okay, that's what we're praying for. That's what we're looking forward to. All right, that's what we have our hope in. All right, because Yahawashi is our hope. 1 Timothy 1 and verse 1. Paul, an apostle of Yahawashi Hamashiach, by the commandment of the Most High, our Savior, in Lord YAHAWASHI HaMashiach, which is our hope. All right, we are saved by hope. Okay, this is what we're saved by: hope. We're saved by YAHAWASHI. We're saved by the faith of YAHAWASHI. Okay, no man is justified by the works of the law. A man is justified by his faith, man. All right. So, but that doesn't mean that we don't keep the laws to the best of our ability. All right. So Lord, when this little lesson was edifying, I'm gonna wrap it up. I got some things to do. I'm got to sit down later on. Lord, when this lesson was edifying, I'm gonna give all honor and glory and infinite worship to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Racha HaKodash Shalom Yom. Double honors to the apostle of the great millstone. I want to say Kwame Sharala, Abba Ball, Shalom.